What's up guys, it's Ryan from SVT Garage. Today we're going to get the transmission back in order for the mineral gray car. We're going to go ahead and replace that throwout bearing retaining sleeve that was broken, put the new throwout bearing on there, put the clutch fork back on, get that thing ready to reassemble and put back in the car. Got the RTV, got the new sleeve, got the new throwout bearing. So we're going to start with that. We're going to clean up the valve covers that are going to be going on the car. We're just waiting on the gaskets for that to come in, and we'll just do a little bit of work today. So Chris is at the fire station, I'm here by myself, and we'll get done what we can. I'm not going to be able to put the transmission in today. I pulled my lat at the gym, so lifting that thing up by myself isn't happening today. I took it out by myself, it's not going back in by myself. So stand by and we'll get started. I'm going to set this up and we'll kind of go step by step on how to change this retaining sleeve. So obviously the first thing you got to do is get this thing out of the car. We've done that in a couple of our other videos, but that's the nice thing about the T-56 is the bell housing can be separate from the actual transmission itself. You don't have to deal with taking the starter out, none of that if you're just taking the trans out, not removing the bell housing. So to get this retaining sleeve replaced, which is sheared clean off, you have to take this faceplate off of the transmission, and it's held in by, I believe it's 11 15mm bolts. So we're going to go ahead and take those bolts out, and then from there we'll pull the plate off, clean off the RTV, clean this a little bit, put the new sleeve in there. I'll show you guys how I'm going to do that in the freezer right now, and we'll get this reassembled with new RTV, get it all back together so it can dry overnight. So stand by and we'll get started on that in just a second. Alright guys, so we got the faceplate off the transmission. Be careful here because the input shaft will just come out. You've got your counterbalance shaft down here, and then inside of this plate is the race for the input shaft and the race and bearing set for the counter shaft. There's also going to be some shims in here, so just use caution when you're taking this stuff apart. You don't want stuff to fall out and then you don't put it back in, and that's when you have problems. So next I'm going to put two 4x4s on the ground. I'm going to hammer this retaining sleeve, what's left of it, out from the front side of the transmission. I'm going to find a socket that will fit around the piece that I want to knock out, and we'll go from there. Once that's done, I'm going to clean this mating surface. I'm going to clean this mating surface, and I'm going to put a thick bead of black RTV around this. It's important to note that there's two dowels here to line this back up when you go to put it on. So not going to be much of not going to be touching much in here at all. We'll clean this up, probably wire wheel it real quick, spray it down with some Simple Green, clean everything out, and go from there. So stand by, I'll get started on that, and I'll be back. So you saw me knock that out. I used a 31mm socket, which was the perfect size to put in there to pound that old retaining sleeve out. It's important to know that before you flip this over and do that, you want to take both races out for the counter shaft and the input shaft. The one for the input shaft is the bigger of the two, but pay attention to your shims. When you take these out, there's going to be a shim behind that race. You want to make sure you don't mix up your shims or lose shims. If you do, you're going to have problems. So keep them separate, keep them clean. I'm going to go ahead and get the Simple Green out. We'll clean this up. I'm going to wire wheel the face of this, wire wheel the face of that, and then we'll start putting it back together. The new input shaft sleeve, retaining shaft, throwout bearing retaining sleeve is in the freezer right now. So I'm going to take advantage of that real quick, let that cool for a little bit longer, clean this up, and we'll get back to you. Alright, we got this thing cleaned up, we wire wheeled the face and the mating surface. Like I said guys, don't go crazy wire wheeling this. You don't want dirt and debris and metal and stuff, shavings flying everywhere. Just lightly wire wheel it or use a Scotch-Brite pad, just enough to get the RTV off. Cleaned it off, hit it with some Simple Green, and then wiped it down with some brake clean. So that's ready, and once this is in, I'm going to apply some RTV there, and then we're going to apply some grease on our races before we put those back in. We don't want to put those in dry. So this is just going to drop in here, and it's been in the freezer. And you can do it if you don't have a race driving set, or a press. You can do it with a large socket. I have the right size tool here to do it. So I'm going to just set that there, and then I'm going to make sure it's centered and hammer it down. Did you hear it change? You'll know it's bottomed out because your pitch of the hammer will change. So once it's bottomed out, it almost gets like a deeper thud from the hammer. But so that's in place now. Make sure you have your O-ring where it needs to be, your seals in there for your input shaft, and this is ready to go back on once I put the races back in and get the RTV applied. So stand by, we'll set that up, get that going, and we'll put it back together. So far this has been pretty easy, uneventful, which is good. That's what we need. Tired of running into surprises. We found yesterday that the coolant leak on this car is actually in the heater core. So you're gonna get about a 2-day video of us replacing the heater core. You can't, the car is too nice, the car is too clean to just bypass the heater core. Maybe if it was a, I don't want to say it, but maybe if it was a Fox body, I'd be like, all right, let's just bypass it. But I mean, this thing is low miles, mint, so we have to get that fixed and make sure it's right for whoever gets it next. I don't want any surprises for this next person that owns it. We don't put out junk out of the shop, and this is one of our personal cars, so we want to make sure it's taken care of. But anyway, back on this, I'm going to get this RTV, get the races back in, and we'll go from there. Alright guys, so got everything back together, got it all torqued in. Next thing we're going to do is put the new throwout bearing into the clutch fork and get that back on the transmission. I'm going to let this dry for 24 hours before I refill it. If I was feeling better and I didn't have my sore lat, I would probably try to bench press this thing in by myself today, but it's okay. We'll get to it this weekend. I just wanted to get all this done so that when Chris does come over, it's time to just send it, put it back together, and be done with it. You saw me grease everything up before I put it all back together. Can't stress that enough. You're cleaning this out and everything's dry. I'm going to put some grease on this new retaining sleeve here. You don't have to go crazy with it, just enough to make sure that that thing spins freely on there, the new throwout bearing. Get that where it needs to be. I already got the fork all cleaned up. The fork was in pretty good shape. Some people will replace these. I didn't see a need to. So it's important when you put the throwout bearing in that you have the orientation correct on it. There's a teardrop here that has to be pointed away from the round part right here. So I'm going to get this put in. We'll get it slid on. We'll go from there. Just like that, it's back together, smooth as silk. So from here, let this dry. This is ready to go back in the car. Like I said, you make sure you grease your pivot ball, grease your input shaft, grease your where it's going to go into the pilot bearing, grease the retaining sleeve. Make sure everything's nice and greased up. All these bolts are torqued, your RTV is drying. This part of this video is done. We're going to move on to the back now. I want to replace the output shaft seal on the back of the transmission. It's got a slow drip. I figure while the transmission's out, the drive shaft's out, the right thing to do is to replace it. I hate to put this all back together and then whoever gets this car next has to pull the drive shaft out to fix that. It's just, we'll do the right thing. That's what we do here at SVT Garage. I'm sure you guys have noticed that by now. So stand by with me. We'll go through that. It's not as involved as this. It's just getting the old seal out, putting the new one in. It's probably not gonna look like it's in horrible condition, but the inside of that has like a little spring in there that keeps the rubber up against the drive shaft, and that's just worn out most likely. So we're gonna go ahead and get that taken apart, and we'll show you that. So there's really no good way to get this out. The key to getting this out is to not damaging the metal surface of the inside of where this will be pressed into. So you almost, I joke, but I call it you have to tactically remove it. So I like to take a small screwdriver, or if you have a pick, you can use a pick. And I just want to carefully not gouge the metal. If you do, it's not a huge deal, but I'm going to just tap this in. You can see it's starting to move already. This one's already kind of loose in there. And you just want to work your way around. The idea here is that you're collapsing this seal so that you can get a purchase point to pull it out from. This thing starts moving too much, I might have to put the transmission on the ground. And eventually it'll get to a point where it's deformed enough that you can pull it out with pliers. Alright, so we got this pressed back in. Just need a socket big enough to fit over this. Carefully press it in. You only want to go till it's flush with the end of the flange right here. You don't want to push it in too far, you're going to have a leak. If you leave it out too far, you're going to have a leak. So you want the rubber of the seal flush with the back of the transmission tail shaft. That's done. I put a little bit of grease on here, of course. This is all ready to go. Shouldn't have any more problems here. The seal you need for this is a national seal, 710426. If you try to go online and find this, you'll get the wrong one 5 out of 5 times. This is the one you need. So I'm going to save this box and order another one. I keep these on hand. As much as I work on these cars, it's just good to have stuff on hand.
All right, guys, it's a couple days later. I'm back. I hate that I had to leave my boy to do so much work by himself, but man, you knocked it out of the park. I do appreciate that, man.
I couldn't make a video for you guys because it was raining when I did this yesterday, and I couldn't get the silver car out of the garage, the white car, blah, blah, blah. So, got Cobras everywhere here. But, so I had to film it, or I couldn't film. I had the garage door down. I had no room in here. But, so I got the transmission back in. I'll put back together. You saw that in the other part of this video. The new valve covers are on. Everything's dialed in. The shifter's back in, refilled with fluid. So we're literally just putting the plenum on, and we're gonna take it for a ride.
Yeah, so quick update. The reason why we changed out these valve covers, I found a factory set of like beautiful, really nice looking set of valve covers. So we changed the ones that were oxidized out, and then we put a new plenum on because the other one was oxidized as well. And this one I picked up months back with a, again, just a perfect looking plenum. So new gaskets, throttle body's already mounted to it, so it was just a nice plug and play for that. But what he did, man, was, you know, again, he got the transmission in the car, did the fluid.
My lat healed up, I was able to get the trans in by myself.
which is pretty nuts, especially laying on your back on the ground. That is pretty. I don't know, dude. I don't know how you did it, but again, good job, bro. So what we did, guys, is I got new gaskets for those of you wondering if you need one. The Felpro 61202. That is for the plenum to the supercharger. Kind of was a little difficult researching because a lot of the places were saying that it was a throttle body gasket. So if you're looking, it looks like the car has two throttle body gaskets, but again, the plenum one is that 61202. All new fluid in the car. We got everything switched out in it. So you know, Ryan went above and beyond and got this thing knocked out. These are for the
white car.
So we got a list of parts here for, because I say this isn't the, I put in the Valvoline one in my car, right, or the Pennzoil. So I was like, this ain't it. So we have a complete oil change, maintenance. You guys saw the white car, which is a Daniel. He's in our little group locally here, so we're gonna touch base on that thing. Should we let it? Should we just say it?
Yeah, it's a ripper.
The car's a ripper with that 2.3 on there. Really nice setup.
Already got that sorted out.
Which again, off camera, he just went ahead and fixed it. So we'll walk you guys through that too, because that car is already done. It was fixed in 15 minutes. But we're gonna get working on this, getting this thing finished up, and then get it started. All right, so what we're doing now is just getting the throttle body bolted up and getting this thing back together. What else are we gonna do?
That's it.
You want cold air? That's the intake tube.
Not yet, but in a minute.
Nothing from Rock Auto, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Rock Auto hasn't come in yet?
No.
For the heater core. So we are still waiting for a heater core to come in on this. I noticed a small, it was like it would happen not every time the car was, you know, running or driving. It would just be kind of periodically. I would notice a little coolant on the ground. And then it got towards the end there, we saw it just dripping from the back of the passenger side of the motor, and unfortunately found that it was the heater core. So we have that coming in. That's going to get a it looks like we're going to have to remove the dash, get that replaced. But some of you guys that don't know, you might have seen it on Facebook, on SVT Performance, but I do have this stuff for sale, and this car will be absolutely mint, ready to go when that time comes. So, you know, we don't take shortcuts here. We're not, you know, we're not just putting Band-Aids on stuff. It's going to get fixed appropriately. It's going to look good. And this car just hit 30,000 miles. It's got like 30,100 on it. So the bumpers are resprayed. We just got that done. So the bumpers are cherry on this. You guys have probably saw that in the B-roll, the front and rear. And other than that, the car's in really good shape. The inside is mint. And the only thing that we're waiting on now is again, like that heater core, but that's coming from Rock Auto. But if anybody's interested, again, I always put the email address in the description. Go ahead and just drop us an email, and you know, we can talk from there if someone's actually really interested in the car. I hate trying to sell stuff on Facebook. It is everybody's
an expert on
pricing, which is bizarre.
And everyone that wants to rip them doesn't have one, can't afford it. So
you know, this is not a $30,000 car. I'm sorry. I mean, I'll sit there and argue that all day long. You know, it's very well documented. You get guys laughing, saying, you know, oh, I can't wait to see the factory valve stems. And that wasn't, A, it doesn't say that. B, what I was trying to say was the car was so well kept by the previous owners that when they took the valve stem caps off, if you actually read the description, they put that aside, put it in the bag, and it comes with, like, that's how well just documented the car is, and how the previous owners took care of this thing. So it's a little frustrating selling stuff on Facebook Marketplace because, you know, I mean, Ryan's, where's your his red car's at my house. It's got 72,000 miles on it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, what are you selling that thing for?
If I was selling it,
Yeah.
34.
34,000. You know, so it's like
It's cleaner than most 20,000 mile cars now, though.
Right,
But,
for
yeah.
sure. But you know, when you're talking about a low mileage car, you know, it's a lower production color, essentially. Extremely well documented. The addendum stickers, the window sticker. Again, I'm not trying to like.
You know what the moral of the story is? Haters gonna hate.
Yeah, and it's just frustrating because if someone was really interested and made a reasonable offer, you have a conversation. But just sit there and laugh at people's posts and ask me how much coke in the trunk or whatever, you know, the comments were. It's just like, it's real frustrating, and it's just like, come on, guys, you know, it's stupid. But unfortunately, I got to part ways with it.
The funny thing is, too, is it's the same idiots in every for sale thread.
It's the same
group of people.
No matter what for sale thread it is, you got the same people commenting the same stuff, and you know it kind of, you know, it kind of just it just takes away from, you know, enjoying the car a little bit, and, you know, letting it go on to the next person. I'm not saying my price was perfect, but obviously there's wiggle room there. You know, just have a conversation. But you know, you got everybody who's and whatever. So, but again, like I was saying, unfortunately, I got to part ways with the car, and you know, down the road maybe we'll get back into something else or another one. Like I said, I do have a Lightning on the priority list here, so we'll see which direction this all goes. But whoever gets the car, I'm not in no rush to sell it, so I'm not giving this thing away. It's going to get a really solid, very well taken care of car. You know, if it's somebody here on the channel that's interested, again, message me on the email. Just comment below, let me know you did email me, and we'll go back and forth. But moving forward, I guess all we're gonna do now is take it for a test drive, right? Yep. We got everything kind of topped off where we want it to be, the fluids, and throwout bearing was fixed, so I'd like to see where that's at. So new throwout bearing.
Retaining sleeve.
The retaining sleeve is brand new on there because, again, for whatever reason that was damaged. It's got all new transmission fluid in it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So new transmission fluid, and we're just gonna go through it right now, just test drive it, make sure all that is sound, bring it back, and then we're just waiting for that heater core to come in. So stay tuned.
All right, so we just took it for a test drive. Pedal feels great, no noises. Everything felt good. How did it feel driving it on your side? Good?
It felt good. That little chatter that was in the pedal, that, you know, again, we thought it was throwout bearing, but it was that sleeve, you know, so.
Yeah. So we got new valve covers on here, plenum, new gaskets. You know, everything's fixed under the hood. It's 100% under the hood. We got to clean it with some Simple Green.
Yeah, and, of course we do.
And then that'll be done under there. We're just waiting for the heater core to come in from Rock Auto, and we're going to do probably 2 videos on that. One video on getting the interior out, because the seats, the dash, everything has to come out.
It's a job.
And then we'll do an actual video of pulling out the box and changing the heater core in there. We'll check the evaporator core, make sure that's not a problem, and put it all back together.
Real quick, how much was that heater core again?
$26.
And you got to do 12 hours of work. It's insane. But
so I never pulled the dash on one of these. Went to, I think it was Danny Johnson.
Of course it was Danny Johnson.
Has a video on it.
Danny, thank you.
I think it was Danny, but it might have been LMR. It was one of the two. Those are our go-tos. But yeah, so that'll be the next video for this. Stay tuned on that. We've got some other stuff coming on the white car.
But honestly, man, seriously, as like your boy, I appreciate you. As I'm at work, you know, I know we work opposite shifts, so it's tough. And you know, you came through and got that.
I wanted to get it on video for you guys, but like I said, it was raining. I had the garage closed.
We had a hell of a rainstorm the other day here.
I couldn't do it.
Yeah, it was too noisy. But again, thanks, bro, getting that knocked out.
Absolutely.
Guys, we're ending this, and we're moving right to that.
Yeah.
So we're gonna take the cover off the Fox and get going on that.